somewhere inside of you, there's a feeling that says you were meant to be a writer. And you've probably felt that feeling for a very long time, right? Maybe even since you were a little kid. And here's the thing about that feeling. It's there for a reason. So even if you don't have the confidence in your writing abilities yet, let that feeling of, I know I was meant to be a writer, fuel you. Welcome to the Fiction Writing Made Easy podcast. My name is Savannah Gilbo, and I'm here to help you write a story that works. I want to prove to you that writing a novel doesn't have to be overwhelming. So each week, I'll bring you a brand new episode with simple, actionable, and step-by-step strategies that you can implement in your writing right away. So whether you're brand new to writing or more of a seasoned author looking to improve your craft, this podcast is for you. So pick up a pen and let's get started. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the 7 secrets of success that every writer should know. As an editor and book coach, I work with writers who are at all different stages of the writing, editing, and publishing process. And because of this, I've realized that there are certain traits and habits that make some writers more successful than others. So for today's episode, I've taken those traits and habits and summarized them into 7 secrets to success that every writer needs to know about. If you're brand new to writing, these 7 secrets will help you develop a strong writing practice right out of the gate. If you're further along in your writing career, these 7 secrets can help take your writing practice to the next level. So no matter where you're at in the process, adopting these 7 secrets will completely transform your writing practice. Now, before we get into each of the 7 secrets, I just wanted to let you know that I created a freebie for this episode that lists out each of these 7 secrets to success and has areas for you to brainstorm how you're going to adopt these 7 secrets into your writing life. You can download the freebie at savannahgilbo.com/success. Without further ado, let's get into the 7 secrets of success that every writer should know. Secret number 1 is having the courage to take action. And this really means taking action even when you're not 100% sure where your story's going or what the next step of the process is. I think we can all agree that writing a book can be challenging, right? And it can be especially challenging when negative thoughts start to creep into our head and say things like, what if my friends don't like my book? Or what if I query agents and they reject my story? Or what if I get really busy at work and I can't dedicate as much time to my writing as I would like to? I mean, we've all had some version of these kind of negative feeling thoughts, right? And sometimes we get so scared of these what ifs that we end up feeling paralyzed and unable to take action. And when that happens, we either never start writing our book in the first place or we never finish what we're trying to do. But here's the thing I want you to know. Most of that stuff we can't control. We can't control whether someone likes our story or not. We can't control if a publisher decides to pick up our book and help us bring our story to the market. We can't control our busy work schedule or the fact that we're all stuck at home in quarantine right now either, right? But what we can control is taking action toward our goals. So for this first success secret, I want you to tap into the courage that lives inside of you somewhere and start writing or editing that messy first draft. Or maybe taking action means working with an editor for the first time or finding a cover designer for your book. Whatever it is, that one action is going to help you get the ball rolling. And once the ball's rolling and you've gained some momentum, that's where success secret number 2 comes in. The second secret to success is having confidence. Confidence comes after you have the courage to take action and you start to see some kind of forward momentum. Now, a lot of people think that confidence is something you're either born with or you're not, but that just isn't true. Confidence is something that anybody is capable of developing. And when we take consistent action toward a specific goal and we start seeing results, those actions and those results add to our feeling of confidence. So if we let fear stop us from taking action, we're never going to get to the point where we're feeling confident in ourselves or in our writing. The other thing I want to say here is that somewhere inside of you, there's a feeling that says you were meant to be a writer. And you've probably felt that feeling for a very long time, right? Maybe even since you were a little kid. And here's the thing about that feeling. It's there for a reason. So even if you don't have the confidence in your writing abilities yet, let that feeling of, I know I was meant to be a writer, fuel you. Your skill set is going to grow and develop as you continue to practice, but that feeling of I was meant to be a writer, that exists inside of you right now. So take comfort in that feeling and just let it fuel your confidence until your skills develop. The third secret to success is having clarity. In other words, you have to be clear about what your goals are and how you're going to accomplish those goals. So the first thing we need to do is get clear on what you're trying to do. If your goal is to write a book, then what kind of book are you trying to write? So are you trying to write something like a 12-page children's book or an 80,000-word novel or something else? And then once you have clarity around what you're trying to accomplish, you need to get clear on how you're going to accomplish it. So if your goal is to write an 80,000-word novel, how are you going to track whether or not you've accomplished that goal? One way, of course, is through your word count, right? We know that your goal is to try to write an 80,000-word novel, but is there also a deadline you're working to or a date that you'd like to have your first draft completed? For example, say you want to write an 80,000-word first draft in 8 months. That means you're going to have to write about 10,000 words each month. So how exactly are you going to get this done? Are you going to write 2,500 words each week or break up the word count in a different way? Once you decide that, I want you to think about where you're going to do the work. So are you going to be able to write those 10,000 words each month at home, or do you need to make other arrangements? I mean, ideally, you'd be doing this writing somewhere where you can focus and you're not going to be disturbed or constantly interrupted, right? So where is that place that you're going to get this writing done? And all of these questions just help us turn the larger goal of writing a book into smaller, more actionable steps that feel concrete and that feel like something we can actually do or take action on, right? The final thing you'll want to get clear on is your motivation. So what's driving you to write a book in the first place, or why do you even care so much about being a writer? And the secret here is to keep digging into what's motivating you until you come up with an answer that feels like it's going to sustain you all the way until that last page of your draft. So what I like to do is just keep asking myself why until I can't ask myself why anymore. Usually that helps me get to the root of my motivation. And then once you've gotten clear on these three things, so exactly what you're trying to do, how you're going to accomplish it, and what's going to motivate you to get all the way to the end, you can drill down even further and get clear on what kind of story you're actually writing. So you can ask things like, what is the genre of my story? Or who is my protagonist? And what does he or she want? Or what is the central conflict of my story going to be? Things like that. And don't forget, the more clear that you can be with all of your goals, the better. What we're trying to do here is get clear on what and how and why you're going to accomplish something, right? So it's all about clarity and being as crystal clear as possible. The fourth secret to success is being consistent. So once you get clear on your goals and how you're going to accomplish them, it's going to be much easier for you to show up consistently. And you've probably heard the advice out there that says you should write every day or that you should write a certain amount of words per day, right? But that advice doesn't really work for everyone. So what I mean by consistency is that I want you to create a writing practice that works for you. So if that looks like you're sitting down to write once a day, then that's great. If that means that you're writing once a week, then that's great too. The key here is to create consistency in your writing practice so that you are constantly taking action. Because remember that taking action is what's going to help you develop confidence. And if you have confidence, it's going to be much easier for you to accomplish your goals. The fifth secret to success is continuing your education. So this means continuing to learn about the craft of writing through online classes or podcasts or books or blogs or whatever way you like to learn best. I've seen so many writers who are motivated and excited to write a book, but because they have no education or training in how to craft a compelling story, they don't get the kind of results they're looking for. And when that happens, a lot of people start to feel frustrated, or they feel like they're a failure, or they wonder if they should just kind of give up on this whole writing thing altogether. And I mean, that makes sense, right? Because if you're not making the kind of progress you want to be making, then it's super easy to just give up. But here's something I wholeheartedly believe to be true. I believe that anybody can write a book as long as they have the right tools and strategies and put in the hard work to do it. And I see this happen every day in my work as a book coach. So for example, if you know your scene writing could be better, then educate yourself on what it takes to write a scene that works. And you can do this by researching scene structure or analyzing a scene from your favorite book. And if you don't know what to focus on learning first, consider working with a book coach who can help guide you and point you in the right direction. There's something about paying for your education that makes you show up in a different way. And I've learned this personally myself. So if you pay to work with a book coach or take an online class or whatever it is, then you've got skin in the game, right? And when you've got skin in the game, it's a lot easier to show up for yourself and for your writing because you paid for it. So the lesson here is really just to keep educating yourself. Keep growing your skill set and studying the craft of writing and learning new things, because this is what's going to help you develop the kind of writing life you want to have, and it's what's going to separate you from the rest of the writers out there. Success secret number 6 is finding a community. So this means finding a group of like-minded people who are writing fiction or who have the same goals that you have. And I don't think it's any big secret that writing can be lonely sometimes, right? I'm sure we've all felt that way at one time or another, but it really doesn't have to be like that. Being a part of a writing community can help you feel less lonely, and it can help you become a better writer too. Plus, it's a great way to find beta readers or critique partners if you're at that stage of the process. So if you're not already part of a writing group, whether that's in person or online, I highly recommend finding one. And if you don't know where to start, you can Google things like writing groups near me or online writing groups. You can also look up events like NaNoWriMo or Camp NaNoWriMo, which happen every year at the same time. Or if you're on Twitter, there's an active writing community there that you can join by using #writingcommunity. You're also invited to join my Fiction Writing Made Easy Facebook group. That's for anybody who's writing, editing, or publishing fiction. I'll link to this in the show notes for you guys, but you can either click on the link in the show notes to request access to join, or just search for Fiction Writing Made Easy in Facebook. The 7th secret to success is commitment. So not only do I want you to commit to your writing goals and your writing practice, but I also want you to commit to constant evolution too. And constant evolution means getting better over time. And this is important because there's no secret formula or magic pill or anything like that that's going to help you finish your book or become a better writer, right? So instead, you have to put in the work to constantly evolve yourself and your skills. And the good news is that if you keep these 7 secrets in mind, you are going to become a better writer and you are going to evolve over time. By working on these 7 secrets and including them in your writing practice, you're going to start to set clear goals and then take action towards achieving those goals. And by taking action toward your goals, you're going to develop the skills and the confidence to put your work out there. You're also going to have a community of like-minded people to turn to if things get tough or if you need a second opinion, right? So hopefully you guys can see how these 7 secrets to success can really make a positive impact on your writing life. And these 7 secrets can literally make the difference between your success and your failure as a writer. They're really that important and they're really that impactful. Now, before we get into the recap, I want to remind you guys that I created a freebie for this episode that has these 7 secrets to success listed out, as well as areas for you to brainstorm how you're going to adopt these 7 secrets into your writing life. So if you want to get your hands on that freebie, you can download it at savannahgilbo.com/success. I know we just went over a lot, so let me recap those 7 secrets for you really quickly here. Secret number 1 is having courage. So this means having courage to show up for your writing, even if you're feeling scared or unsure or overwhelmed. And this one's important because courage leads to action, and action leads to secret number 2, which is confidence. So the second secret to success is confidence. And remember that confidence is not something you're born with. It's something that you develop by taking consistent action and by continuing your education. So if you're not confident in your skill set or your story yet, I want you to just have confidence in that feeling that lives inside of you that says you were meant to be a writer, because that feeling is there for a reason and it's valid. So let that feeling give you confidence until you build up the confidence in your skill set and your story. Secret number 3 is clarity. So this just means getting crystal clear on your goals. So what exactly do you want to accomplish, and why does accomplishing that thing mean so much to you? And then how exactly are you going to go about accomplishing that goal? And remember, the clearer you are with your goals, the easier it's going to be for you to start working toward achieving them. Secret number 4 is consistency. So this just means showing up for yourself and for your writing on a consistent basis. And remember that this doesn't have to be an everyday thing. You can do whatever makes sense or whatever's realistic for you. The point is to just show up consistently so that you're taking action and you're building that confidence that only comes through practice. Secret number 5 is continuing education. So this just means continuing to educate yourself on the craft of writing. So for example, if you know that your dialogue could be better, then educate yourself on what it takes to write great dialogue. If you know that working with a book coach or an editor is going to help you accomplish your writing goals and help you become a better writer, then make the investment to work with somebody who's gone before you and who knows what they're doing. It's super important to keep learning because this is how you're going to become the kind of writer you want to be, and it's what's going to separate you from the rest of the writers out there. Success secret number 6 is community. So this is all about connecting with like-minded people who are also writing a book or pursuing the same goals that you are. And this is super important because we all know that writing can be lonely sometimes, right? And we just need to feel like we're not alone. Plus, having a community to go to when you need help brainstorming or solving plot problems is super handy too. Success secret number 7 is commitment. So this just means committing to your goals and committing to getting better over time. Becoming a better writer is not something that's going to happen overnight or even within the span of a few weeks. So we have to commit to constantly evolving our writing skills and our writing practice. And if you commit to adopting each of these 7 secrets into your writing practice, then you're going to be well on your way to having the kind of writing life that you want. So that's it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I hope you'll work these 7 secrets to success in your writing practice starting right now. And as a reminder, I created a freebie for this episode that has these 7 secrets to success listed out, as well as areas for you to brainstorm how you'll adopt these 7 secrets into your writing life. You can download that freebie at savannahgilbo.com/success. And just one final thing, I highly recommend that you guys write these 7 secrets down in a notebook or on a sticky note above your desk so that you can see them every time you sit down to write. Because since I've started focusing on these 7 secrets and, I have them above my computer screen, I've been much more productive and just much more positive feeling about what I'm doing every day. And I know the same is possible for you too. So that's it for today's show. As always, I want to thank you so much for tuning in and showing your support. If you want to check out any of the links I mentioned in this episode, you can find them over at savannahgilbo.com/podcast. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to the show because there's going to be another brand new episode coming out next week. If you're an Apple user, I'd really appreciate it if you took a few seconds to leave a quick rating and review. Your ratings and reviews tell iTunes that this is a podcast that's worth listening to. And in turn, that helps this show get in front of more fiction writers just like you. So that's it for today's show. I'll be back next week with a brand new episode. Until then, happy writing.